everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So all my channels, I want you to try to seek as many people as possible so that I can talk about this. This is very important. I'm trying to talk about it in a professional manner. I got on Facebook earlier. Facebook is deleting stuff come June or July, which is good and bad, bittersweet for me. But I want to talk about what's the truth because it can be shown through phone records. I never recorded them. I'm going to look up the law on that. I'm going to start looking up the law on that. Because if I can record, I'm going to start recording for my own safety and personal well-being. Matter of fact, let me look it up right now. Can you record an individual in Washington state? I hate when I'm on Yahoo. Yahoo is so outdated. Can you record? Here we go. Bam. Good. You have to obtain consent. So that can put me in jail. So I will not record. And, if there was a case against that, that will be thrown out and I could get in trouble. In certain states, you can record without getting in trouble. But, like I said, they make the laws, so many liars here and so many corrupt people. That's why they make it the law here. So I want to talk about evidence being corrupt, stuff being corrupt, and how Kevin and Crystal and many more of them were trying to have me locked up either in a mental facility or jail. Let me start from the beginning. When I first got out of jail, I started to be followed by Hispanic males. That's when the car, I was at my apartment and the car like swerved to the side and blocked all the other cars, and then they started recording me. Who does that? Who does that? Who sits up there in a Tahoe, in a white Tahoe, I believe, with black tint, and stick their hand out and start recording you? They were always non-combative though, for now. This means that whomever is getting them to follow me wants them to follow me without hurting me for right now. Wow. And all of a sudden my dentist changed her tune and said I need to be here till May or something is going to happen, which is not right. So I'm going to talk to the person above her, and make sure that when I go under surgery or anesthesia, I will wake up and it will be a damn good job that they do without messing up my mouth. I am an influencer and I get on my show and talk about illegal immigrants going back to Mexico, and they dislike it. They dislike it. Let's be real. They dislike it. My lawyer is Mexican. I called her on a Thursday, and the only reason she called me back was that she picked up for Kevin. I told Kevin about it. Did Kevin write in the personal VA file that I asked in a calmly manner about my attorney calling me back. That wasn't an illusion. When he feels that it can get off as an illusion or delusion, he writes in my file. He did not write that. Like I said, I'm an influencer. I get on my show and talk about everything from illegal immigrants to Donald Trump, talking about his laws, regulations, what he stands for, everything. And like I said, Kevin's name is public, Susan's name is public, but I never give out last names. They made laws here for criminals not to get caught, especially illegal immigrants. You cannot, if the police officers try to catch an illegal immigrant and call ICE, it's a special way they have to contact ICE, even if the illegal immigrant was in the wrong. I think that is so disgusting. Look it up if you have the time. Now, stuff was starting to be suspicious for me. I'll start from why I got it. Yesterday I had to get a 14-panel drug test by Walgreens. It's in my closet. There were traces of amphetamines in my system and triglyceride antidepressants, which I know my doctor do not give to me. And they're sold off, both drugs are sold off the streets. And they're both a controlled substance. I called the place that I go, which is right next to Walmart where the Hispanics hang. And the girl I know is Hispanic. And she said there are no amphetamines in the drug that I take, or else you would have to sign a waiver or some type of personal paper saying you're taking amphetamines. It was just little traces of it. Prior to that, my probation officer has delayed me getting drug tests since January, y'all. Since January. She's been delaying it. Her reasons was that all the clinics were shut down. That's what she said out of her mouth. Now, if I can record, then if I could have recorded that, it would have been all good. That would have been a slam dunk case with DOJ, but I can't record it. Now, I called the clinic that I used to go to, and they said that they never shut down. But I asked them if they can issue a statement. I should have never gave out my name. And they said no. They said no. So I laughed. I'm like, the woman said no, I'm laughing. I didn't laugh on the phone, but I'm laughing in my head. And I came up with a new thought saying, if you be investigated, you're going to have to tell the truth. And it's a simple yes or no question. It's not, whether I pissed hot or not. It's not anything of a violating a HIPAA law. It's just whether your lousy drug test place, sat up there and shut down. Nowhere shut down except one place, which I never went to. The place I was going in Everett, she knew I was going to Everett, was not shut down. I enjoyed the ride going to Everett. I told her that. But she said, you should go closer. If this becomes investigated, which it will, they're going to go to that place. And they're going to ask them the same question I asked them, which has this place shut down before? Or they don't even need their statement. They're going to look at the records and they're going to see that they never shut down. They're going to look at the cameras and see the last time I came in and what drug place I went to. So if they lie, they're going to jail. If they have to come in and ask them and they lie, they're going to jail because they're going to check the records and everything. They have my car there, parked right in the building. They have my car going past the courthouse onto the highway. It's no way I'm just there cruising. That's an hour drive. I do not need a statement from them. Now, it is written via email and verbally spoken to me that Susan said that she wanted me to go yesterday to take a drug test. So I was like, okay, fine. Now we getting somewhere because sometime next month or whenever my drug test is supposed to be, we can keep doing it monthly. I'm cool with that. Now we're on track. She said, you want to go to fast track? You can go. I was like, okay, cool. I said, do I need anything? No. I asked questions about the drug test. She said, yes, they're good. It's in Tequila, yada, yada, yada. And then she wrote me. She said, do you need me to email it to you? I said, yes. So she emailed it to me. Said the same exact thing she said over the phone. Something is suspicious is going on. So I went by Fast Track in Tequila. They didn't even have me on the record. I called my probation officer, Susan, twice. 3 times, actually. She didn't pick up. I left a message one time. They called the courthouse. Somebody is covering for somebody because they said I wasn't even supposed to be there. So I said, and they were like, they don't know what's going on. They were getting suspicious too. And so then what happened was, they sat up there and they tried some more stuff. They tried more stuff. And then they couldn't make nothing happen. So that's when I called her one last time. Didn't pick up. I said, thank you, ladies. And I showed them the email she sent me for, verification and people to see that she wrote me and I'm not just crazy, because it makes me look crazy going to a drug place and I have no record of having a drug place to be at. When it's saying black and white via email that I was supposed to show up, probation officer did not pick up. Courthouse said I wasn't supposed to be there. So then I get in the car, call a couple of people. I left once I was on the highway, because you know how they watch me. So they must have seen me go on the highway. Somebody calls. It was Susan. Yeah, I am so sorry that I missed your call, and I don't know what happened. So why don't you wait until Tuesday? And then a light bulb binged in my head. I said something ain't right, because like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, I drank some of my tea and it had this weird taste to it. This very weird taste to it. And then I slept from a certain time all the way to 7, but it was very early. I slept like straight without waking up. like I was drugged. It's like it's something being prolonged to get out of my system. Amphetamines take 2 to 5 days to get out of your system. So she said, why don't you wait until Tuesday? If I would have went there on Tuesday, I would have been turned back because I have to go by color. Now I have to call her again and tell her that it goes by color code because I don't know what's going on. All I wanted to do was go to court in Everett. They have no real line. I can go there, urinate, and leave. You're not paying for my gas. I am. What are you scared of? What is the difference? Or are you trying to torture me, or you're not trying to torture me the way you sound? So are you trying to avoid another district or city seeing it on camera, people following me? So I really got suspicious because the food started tasting funny in my own house. They hired a bunch of Hispanics here. Like, people stopped asking me, how's my apartment? She used to ask me, she randomly started asking me, how's my apartment? How's my apartment? And Kevin did too, at a random moment. And now there's a bunch of Hispanics here. There's no coincidence in that, is there? There's one Hispanic male that works there that has access to keys that have a bunch of tattoos on him. And he has access to the keys here. Gangster tattoos. I can tell men don't get tattoos on their back and their chest unless they're saying a statement about something. He had it covered up and it came all the way up to his neck. I told one lady at the place here, I told her not to get bribed by Hispanics. But then she started, for some reason, disliking me. So I had to tell on her about something. And I think that made her very mad and angry inside. So all of a sudden now, strategically, there's people doing stuff next to me and below me. And now there's a bunch of look like illegal immigrants working. Everywhere I went, and it can show my records of how many places I lived at because my social security is involved, number is involved. Everywhere I went, there would be a white man, white woman, two white women, three white women, or just one white woman. And all of a sudden, like when I get settled, probably like 2, 3 months later, there will be a Hispanic working there. And they will be the manager. and the white woman beat and left. So when the light bulb occurred in my head, I decided to get my own drug test. I sat up there, I went to Walgreens, and I got a 14 panel drug test, which is my evidence. I took it, and it is very sensitive. Now, what are the odds of me having amphetamines and triglyceride, antidepressants, which is a controlled substance? My doctor does not give me triglyceride antidepressants, nor do I take amphetamines. What are the odds out of all drugs in the 14 panel, me having amphetamines? I don't go to the hood. I don't go downtown. I don't do nothing. What are the odds? So I went to the police. I showed them my urine, how my urine is dark, how now I'm detoxing off of it because I have diarrhea. She said, maybe those cups can be sensitive. How about you go to the hospital? So I said, okay, I listened to her. I went to Evergreen. I went straight to Evergreen. Now, this is where it gets funny and tricky. They put me in a mental room automatically. You know why? Because I have a flag on my chart from the VA. They can see everything that messed up Kevin, messed up Crystal wrote that I'm trying to get vindicated for. And I didn't speak to OIG, but I have their number and I will be calling them on Tuesday. But I am going, like, they sat up there and looked at the chart. Who opened? I want to know who opened and had the authority to give civilian hospitals access to my records when I never gave access. I never said it was okay. You know, I am like, what is going on? So he come in angry, like I was a mental patient, severely damaged mental patient. And then I said, can I get a Hall 14 panel? He said, no, we can only do 7 of the major ones. Amphetamines is included. I said, okay, let's do it. I have nothing to hide. I don't care. I am not trying to be on drugs. All of it came out clean. And then the doctor changed his tune. But I wasn't happy because I know there's amphetamines in my system that's dissipating. And that's why she wanted to wait until Tuesday. Who put that flag on the chart for the VA hospital. I am going to write a OIG report for them too. They have no authority. They have authority, but they have no right without my consent to sit up there and put them records onto civilian hospitals. I am not asking for narcotics. I am not asking for no drugs except possibly Toradol, which sometimes I don't even get. I'm not asking for nothing. And for you to sit up there and put out my records that you said, and you know how civilian hospitals are. They were ready to arrest me. You deserve to be fired. I am trying to get vindicated for the records, the smutty records you put on the VA file, and they don't know that. They can't see that. Only what you put. They treated me fair with dignity. So, like I said, the drug screen came out negative for everything. But as sensitive as that cup is, as sensitive as that cup is, it was a slight line under amphetamines. It should have been all dark lines because I take nothing. I shouldn't have to do this for myself or to myself. This lets me know that someone has been in my house. But here's the thing, I can't prove it. It's just wrong how they invade my life. It's very wrong how people invade my life. When stuff start happening to you guys that are a part of this organization and ring, look at my face. I won't be nowhere around. Because what y'all did to me is try to have me locked up and take my life away from me. Y'all deserve to be fired. Remember this face. I won't be nowhere around. I'm not threatening to kill you. I'm not threatening to hurt you. I never threatened to hurt a Hispanic, kill a Hispanic, harm a Hispanic, or myself. But justice will be vindicated for Kimberly Cloud. See, y'all got too much pride to let it go and stop watching me. Y'all got too much pride. And that's going to be your downfall. That is going to be your downfall. Whatever should happen. Hold on, y'all. I have to get something. That is going to be our downfall. Thinking because you got police officers and you flag the police officers and you doing everything to flag the hospitals to make sure you keep a close knit on what I'm saying to the hospitals. You think because you're doing all that, that you have control. I'm not a killer, but I am very calculated and I'm very smart. When I know someone's doing me wrong, I'm going to go up the chain. I'm not going to go to the King County Sheriff's Office for the probation officer because I know it's going to take a while. What I'm going to do is go through the DOJ. I'm going to call them and I'm going to write something for all of y'all. Tell them the whole darn story. How y'all made me look like I was disillusioned, like I was hypomanic, hypermanic, like I am totally bipolar, like I have these hallucinations seeing Hispanics follow me. I have never had a visual hallucination in my life. If I did, I wouldn't want to drive. But let's say I did. Let's say I did have a visual hallucination. Are you going to treat me like 1/3 of a nigger? Because that's what you're doing. You're getting Hispanics to follow me wherever I go. Look at what I'm buying. So it's to your advantage to see what I'm doing. Then by next year, it's going to be a process of, well, she's out of our system and they're going to shoot and kill me. I am not staying here to May. Someone with power like Kevin don't deserve to be in his power. I can prove if I can call the DOJ, have them investigate. If he had people come to his office, I can prove he never had me come to his office through the whole 2 years. That he never told me that what we talk about will be recorded in a VA file. I can prove that he had to call Diana, my attorney, and have her call me. That's the only way she was going to call me. It shows on the phone records if they lie that I called him, and then they're going to look at his records. He called Diana, however long they talked, disengaged, and then she called me. I'm tired of y'all making me look crazy. There's one thing to have mental health issues. I do. I'll admit. It's another thing to lie and make me seem like I'm having hallucinations about Hispanic men. How dare y'all do that to my chart? And then have a civilian person look at it and think I'm crazy. Just like Marion Hospital did. Y'all been fishing around in my chart. Y'all didn't even give two craps about the pain and the anguish I went through. I was just advocating for myself, trying to put myself in a good position to be able to graduate in December, but y'all couldn't take that because y'all wanted me locked up anyway. This is all political. And all because y'all don't like me. I can prove that the DOJ needs to go through the records of Kevin and see what he writes about white women versus black women he take care of. The same with Crystal. I am so disappointed in the system. And I hope y'all snitch until y'all snitch on the one who caused this whole thing. Thank you, Trump. Just wrote me. May have been some bogus stuff, but the administration is watching. That's all I have to say. I'm not going to say no more. Y'all were going to lock me up and not even give two craps about me being locked up and hurt. Y'all were smiling in my face, getting prepared and playing dumb. Now it's my turn. I genuinely trusted you guys. Y'all are sick. Y'all are the sick ones. I can name 1,000 personalities, mental personalities y'all have. Manic, hypomanic, narcissistic, schizophrenia. And you got in a power play position. And just because you don't like someone and give two craps about them, you are making their life hell. And then it wouldn't even care if they were to be arrested. One day, you're going to see. You used me, and I don't like to be used. You discriminated against me. You invaded my privacy. And once I get the okay, I'm going to call the OIG. And once I get the okay from them and tell them the whole story, how politically involved y'all are with my political values and how y'all watch my show and pretend y'all don't, they are going to start firing people. And I don't care. At first I said, no, let me not fire him because he has a wife and kids. If I can say the curse word, I promise Trump I would not say a curse word when I hashtag them. But you know what I want to say. F that. Let you rot in hell. But I'll speak to you. I speak to you with respect. But I hope that they fire you. All of you. For setting me up. Goodbye.
Never waste my time. You are